everybody, it's Wallguy. Now, as many of you likely know, this is Medal of Honor Warfighter. If you've been a fan of the series at any point in its long life, you no doubt are aware of the problems that this particular game had even before day one. And the fact that it only received one patch over its entire lifetime, several months after release. And many people would tell you that that patch broke more things than it fixed. Now that was over a year ago, and it's not really a topic I want to retread, but that's just to set the scene a little bit. Before we get into the main topic, please leave a like and let us know that you'd like to continue to see Warfighter content, and we'll continue to bring it to you. Getting back to the topic, well, Medal of Honor Warfighter was enjoyed by some, including myself. It didn't really resonate with the masses. Now, maybe you were a Medal of Honor fan going way back, maybe you played a lot of the earlier games, and you didn't enjoy Warfighter. I mean, a lot of people did feel that way. A lot of people didn't like Medal of Honor 2010 either. It seems really that the franchise, while it was once a leader in the genre, it's lost its shine as of late. I mean, it's actually been quite a while since people were really excited about it outside of the most serious Medal of Honor fans. And let's be honest, when a game's released in an incredibly buggy state and it doesn't get fixed ever, that obviously affects people's willingness to enjoy the game, play the game, and put up with problems. I'm sure in some people's cases they kind of enjoyed the core game, but they were scared away by the fact that the game, had so many problems. That's definitely a legitimate reason for putting a game down, walking away, and never touching it again. But I'm guessing that's not the only reason, maybe not even the main reason, why the latest Medal of Honor games just haven't taken off and become very popular. The first-person shooter genre has really changed quite a bit over the last 10 plus years. Call of Duty, for instance, has become a huge juggernaut, as we all know, and Battlefield is now right there with it. It seems to me that even if a great game does come out at this point, it might just be lost in the shuffle. It maybe will see mild success and sell decently, but it's not going to retain a strong community. It's not going to have big online numbers that'll last for a while. I mean, look at the Crysis games, or Far Cry 3 that just came out like a year ago. I mean, these games are dead. You can barely get games together anymore. You can't play more than maybe a team deathmatch or something. It's really tough. And it's a bit puzzling. I mean, these games didn't sell poorly. They sold well. They're popular titles, but the online community just has no staying power for some reason. It seems now, if you want to see a strong community outside of the two juggernaut titles, you kind of have to move over to perhaps the free-to-play genre of FPS games. And while those games are very popular among the masses, there's a lot of us, a very strong percentage of the gaming population, that still isn't willing to accept those types of titles in their model. I mean, they're referred to often as like pay to win, and in a lot of cases that's justified. So that model still has a ways to grow, I think, before it can really be compared directly with traditional purchasable titles. That said, between the two juggernauts and these free-to-play games, that's a huge percentage of the population being drawn in to play just a handful of games, really. You have this consolidation effect where a small number of titles get really, really huge, bigger than ever, and everybody's left to kind of pick up the scraps after them. And I think this is a big part of what's happened to the Medal of Honor franchise. Now, as a huge fan of the Medal of Honor series over the entire span of the franchise, I'd love to see the game return in all of its glory. Come out with a game that is impactful enough to really turn the genre on its head and restructure the juggernaut duopoly that we currently live with. I mean, don't get me wrong, I don't think that really has a good chance of happening. I think everything was in place to make Warfighter that game, but they're not able to pull it off. I mean, there's no reason to believe an additional reboot, again, will inevitably strike gold or really fare any better than the last two reboots. So as Medal of Honor fans, where do we go? What games can we play that really retain the most of what we loved from the Medal of Honor series? I mean, Battlefield is a great series and shares similar gunplay to Warfighter, and there is that squad dynamic, although it's really not the same as the Fireteam system. You have Call of Duty Ghost, and that somewhat captures the pace of Warfighter, but it's still Call of Duty at its core. I personally haven't found a complete replacement for either of the last two Medal of Honor games. Maybe you have, and if so, I'd definitely like to hear what it is, because, you know, as much as I enjoy the big games dominating the market right now, I can't help but feel that we're being cheated of something by not having a great and popular Medal of Honor type game to play. Let me know what you guys think in the comments, and be sure to subscribe if you haven't already.